Hello, my name is David Madir. Uh, I'm from Southern Sudan, and I'm a part of Lost Boys of Sudan. I came to this country 4 years ago, and I enrolled here at Cleveland State, and I'm doing this interview with the Adelphia Cable by Sam Phillips. Uh, the story I'm going to tell is about the Lost Boys of Sudan, the migration from Sudan to various countries uh, around the globe, including United States, where they are uh, right now residing. Uh, I begin with my own story. When I left from Sudan, uh, I left in Sudan. I left from Sudan actually uh, about a decade and a half ago, or more than that. I went to Ethiopia. I ran away from home because there was a lot of persecution, a lot of war uh, in the country, and the government of Sudan started attacking the villages. And from that point, I just ran away without my parent. I later wind up with some of my friends. I later met uh, on the border of Sudan, Ethiopia, and I went to Ethiopia. My first place that I went to was uh, in Ethiopia is known Peñedo. There were about 40,000 lost boys there. That was in the year uh, 1987. Uh, when I went to Sudan, when I left from Sudan, there was a lot of fighting, and I went to Ethiopia. There was a lot of hunger, and a lot of people died from their hunger. Uh, we stayed in Ethiopia for 4 years, and the war broke out again in Ethiopia in 1991, and we ran back to Sudan. Actually, we did not came all the way to my hometown or where I had already left, but I came to Sudan border. I stayed there for 6 months, and there was a lot of hunger too. There was no food, there was no water, and a lot of people got eaten by wild animals, and a lot of people starved to death. And I survived. I did not actually. I wasn't the only one who survived. There were a number of people who survived, but the majority died from hunger and uh, uh, lack of water. So when I was in Pichala, that is Ethiopia-Sudan border, we stayed there for 6 to 8 months, and the Red Cross came in with some food, and they provided us some water, clean water, because people were actually getting a lot of diseases from dirty water around, and we start, assuming a comfortable life, but it wasn't that comfortable actually. It was a matter of survival. Uh, from Sudan, there was another attack by the Sudan government, and we ran from Pichala. We came all the way to Kenya. Uh, that was in year 1992. We arrived at Sudan-Kenya border, Lokichokyo, and the government of Kenya took us as a refugee, and they took us to a refugee camp called Kakuma. And at Kakuma, that's where we begin to do our process to come to United States of America. Uh, Actually, we began in 1996 to 1999 doing our processes, but there were no success until 2001. That's when the United States government accepted our application, and we were able to get a resettlement to United States. As part of my life story, I just cut everything short, and I want to let those people who don't know about the Lost Boys of Sudan, I want them to know what had happened and what we are doing right in this country. You know very well, as the war broke out in Sudan, a lot of people were left orphaned, and we never been know whether our parents were alive or were dead, except some few who were lucky enough to later on eventually found out their parent or either one of the parent or some relative. The war in Sudan has really caused more than good, and a lot of people has been left parentless. We start as kids to be to learn how to survive on our own, without parent, without elders, uh, and with no education actually. But when we came to this country, we had a lot of community support. People took us in. Others were able to go to school. Others were able to find job. But we still miss a lot in our life because we have never been parent. We never had adult in our life. We have been living our life as kid and as adult. We have never enjoyed children life, kid life, where you live with your family, your parent, your relative, get advice from them, uh, do what they want you to do, and do what you expect to do for your life. We have been struggling to live our life in our own ways, and that what has caused us a lot of problem. Most of Lost Boys, they have some psychological problem. Others have, uh, some others have some learning disabilities because someone cannot concentrate when he's at school because he has a lot of things to think about. Uh, but I'm glad when I came here, I was able to realize that the only way out uh, is to go to school. And by going to school, I'll be able to help myself and I'll be able to help others. This one was not an individual choice. Uh, it was not my choice to go through this suffering. And nobody actually chose to go through suffering, but it was a disaster. But when I came to this country, I realized the only thing I have to do is to go to school. And by going to school, I'll be useful to my community back at home. I'll be helpful to community here around, and that's the main objective I'm talking about. Right now in Sudan, it seems like there is a little peace, but we are still behind a lot in many things. There is still a lot of community fighting. There is still a lot of a religious fight. There's a lot of anger, and many of you. Uh, Actually, I'm planning to return back home sometime if I get a chance. But my objective is when I go back, I would like to see some changes, like equal opportunities for everybody, whether you are Muslim or Arabs. Uh, what we will consider is not the religion, but the humanity. You have to consider people based on their individual and not on their religion. And that's what has been hurting the country a lot because people look themselves through religious background, tribals, and races. But that one doesn't work. Actually, it hurt the community, and it has the multicultural and diversity within the people. Uh, the only thing I want to thank American community is their understanding of our situation, their support, either through financial support or through prayers. Mostly those who had prayed for us, those who had committed their life to work for us, I really give them a lot of thanks. And I would actually extend my gratitude to most Christian families who had devoted themselves and worked toward peace in Sudan. Those who had talked to the government, those who had actually sent money, to support people uh, by providing medicine. Those who had gone on their own and they worked with the sick people, uh, hungry people, uh, I thank them a lot. But I want to remind you again that the work of Lord is a very important thing. To be able to go through all this suffering, you have to understand God. Once you are in fellowship with God, uh, you don't have to worry about how much you are suffering, because God will give you all that you need. It might not be everything, but you have to have comfort in God. You have to have a good fellowship. You might suffer physically, but your spiritual life would be much better. Uh, Actually, to those who don't know about the Lost Boys of Sudan, uh, our life is a very tragic life, and it has a lot to do with uh, war. Actually, we did not choose to come here if there wasn't a war in Sudan. But uh, by coming here through war, there has been a lot of changes. Sudan is no longer going to be a racist country where Christians are being looked upon by Muslim, or those who don't have religions are treated like uh, other races. So there has been a lot of change right now, and with that, I would still encourage people to be still supportive to either education in Sudan, any other another area of life that need help, either financially, through prayers, through anything, because we really know that no one is an island. Sudan is like an individual. It's like a person, one person. It's like a disabled person who needs support from everyone. So I really encourage American community to help support our country, my country, and to support anyone who want to help in Sudan. Uh, these are the major things that I want to talk on. And I want to ask Sam Phillips if he has any question that I could answer, or he has any thought or comments.
Do you think the UN and the superpowers like United States and Britain should have went over in Sudan and like Rwanda and helped stop this massacre?
Well, actually, United States should have done that, but uh, I, I I think the way they did it is not a bad way too, because like when they went to Rwanda, Somalia, uh, and to places like recently Iraq, there was like uh, you know physical involvement, and that one has cost more life. And by doing it in a diplomatic way, uh, that has spared some life from either side, either from United States or from Sudan. Although there have been more life lost on the part of Sudanese, but the major thing is the fees. If all thing goes well with the fees now at hand, then uh, there will be no more problem. There will be some problem, but it will be much better. The only thing now is the you know the country is totally poor because